Welcome to the latest iteration of the Polaris with a pair of size 6 bespoke weapons staring the camera right in the face. Thank you to my long-term subscribers for sticking around. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, as we fly past the four size 10 launcher holes that are on here, and additionally the smaller missile slots that are adorning the left and the right sides of the bridge. You'll note that the bridge is rather small, but small for a capital ship. And I want to be crystal clear about that. This is a capital ship with all the modules and all the extra maintenance as we go past the elevator on the ship. And we will quickly slide into the crew quarters area. Now, this is for the regular crew. You will note that there is a captain's and an XO or flight officers, different listings of what it was supposed to be, but as if anybody would say, the org that runs this thing or the owner would set the tone on whose room is whose. But there is bunks for Habs. You can see the crew mess is rather large. Once again, it is a capital ship. So it's large for what we classify, but small for a capital ship. And that's kind of where this ship is. It's a manageable capital class vessel. As we go past the captain's quarters and we look into the hangar. The hangar is rather large. It was upsized since some of the earliest pictures, and they've put an MPUV in here, but you can certainly fit a lot more than a single MPUV inside that hangar. We go into the larger main elevator, which is clearly designed to fit larger materials such as modules and components to get shuttled up and down the elevator. And then we enter engineering. You can note the main power core for the vessel here. And once again, due to it being a capital ship, your power plant gets a little more interesting when you get to this scale. I particularly love the moon pool style coloration on the walls, the reflections coming off of the protective waters and whatever material is inside there to keep that system cool. And these amazing engineering shots. Note the engineering station that's in there. And I would note that any place that you will have an engineering station like that means that you will have to at very least have an NPC crew member down here, or a player that knows how to run really fast to get down here, or a staff down here to keep an eye on that while things blow up. You can note that there is this retrieval system right there, that a smaller elevator is designed to help bring materials up to the torpedoes, where you see this main torpedo assembly of the 4 rotating systems that can be fired in. They have talked about using a tractor beam to get the actual torpedoes, the size 10 torpedoes, into that space, and then they can be operated from this area. And then you have your gunner seat. All in all, it is an amazing ship. We have seen some changes. Size 6 guns, that dual turret there. Almost the scale and size of a Perseus's size 7 bespoke guns. However, as I always note, bespoke weaponry means that they can be changed over time, so it could have the alpha and the damage penetration of a size 6, but not necessarily allow you to swap out to other size 6 weaponry that has a faster rate of fire, or is designed to take on smaller vessels, etc., etc. Fortunately, there is a significant amount of turrets on this ship, between the PDSs, the manned and automated turrets, and I say that in that way because it was originally sold with automated missile pods, which are basically adorning the ship, as well as an automated turret to protect the ship towards the rear of the vessel. It is a rather large ship. It has been described as a submarine due to its size 10 torpedoes, and I think a lot of people had this dream of being able to hit and run with this thing, and that is true, but I've always said that this ship is a capital ship and will use its capital radar, and it will give off a capital signature to find targets, assess targets, get to targets, and it's fast for a capital class vessel. It is supposed to have light military armor, but light armor, and it is also supposed to be a capital ship, so it should have decent damage controls. It should have the ability to take a hit, but it is not meant to sit there and brawl with other capital ships. It is something that is meant to take down large vessels with glee and it is something that will certainly be useful as a power modifier. You can bring respectable weaponry and to a smaller fight, or you could use this thing on the edges of a fight. One of the strategies I discussed in the past is the idea of bringing this in after a fight is joined with other capital ships, and then this thing comes in from a safe direction, from a scouted direction. It comes in via quantum, it lands on grid, it fires a volley or two, and then it goes off a grid and it comes back in another direction to disorient the enemy while they're busy. The battle's already joined. Hopefully it doesn't take a lot of hits. Additionally, one of the other things I think this Polaris will shine at is exploitation of damaged enemy vessels. So vessels that it normally should not have any right being able to take on and take down. Ships fleeing said battle example I used it just a moment ago of other capital ships leaving the battlefield wounded, already most of their PDSs blown out, already most of their shielding gone, and then this thing finishes them off very, very quickly. I could definitely see that, or as a area denial tool. So people are so busy worrying about if this thing is going to show up that they can't get their work done in an area with a vessel. Like, for example, a Pioneer trying to build a space station. This type of vessel being out there as a threat and you don't have enough to counter it, suddenly just it existing, doesn't even have to attack, just it existing in that area could deny an enemy organization the ability to build where you want to build. Something like that. Additionally, this ship is going to be amazing in events like saving Stanton, fighting Xeno threat, dealing with Vandal forces, being able to add incredible amounts of damage potential that is true larger damage, size 10 capital, anti-capital type damage, where you have other friendlies being able to take care of the things that this thing really isn't meant to do by itself. So I see a lot of potential, especially in PvX type situations as well. Goes without saying. Just some food for thought. Have a great night and a good rest of your weekend, and happy IAE. Take care.